With our team fully assembled, it's time to get to work on the final gyms before heading to the Pokemon League. Seeing as we're in Cinnabar Island, we may as well give Blaine a go. His team is a little scary, capping out at massive level 47, but Blaine is famous for being particularly terrible in this game, so we definitely have a shot. We lead with Squidgy and take on all the gym trainers rather than answering the gym questions so we can grab a few extra levels before Blaine. Even though we're lower levels, Squidgy is actually faster than a lot of the Pokemon here, so it's pretty smooth going. Ninetales spamming Roar and Tail Whip also helps. Why are the fire types so bad in this game? By the time we get to the man himself, Squidgy is level 33 and Chonk is level 28. We're really underpowered, and if they both go down, we're probably going to lose. By the way, what's with his sprite in this game? It always bugged me how he looked like a fat guy in the overworld, but when you start the fight, it's a skinny old man. Weird. Anyway, let's see how dumb he really is. The answer? Very, very, very dumb. He opens with Growlithe, who we outspeed and one-shot with Surf. Next is Ponyta, who's faster than us, but only uses Growl. We take it down with 2 Surfs. Next, Blaine goes for his patented Super Potion on a full health Pokemon technique, wasting a turn while we hit Rapidash. Next he growls, so we take it down. No problem. Maybe another Super Potion will help his full health Arcanine beat us. No? How about another one? We finish the fight with a critical Surf. Wild. He gives us the Fire Blast TM and we immediately teach it to Stella. The only way forward now is through Team Rocket. There's a tough rival fight and then a Giovanni fight to deal with. We might need to level up a bit to handle them, but we've been doing well so far, so I feel like pushing my luck. Let's try the rival fight, and if we lose, we can go around the map and clear some trainers that we skipped. Sylph can take a while if you clear the place out, but if you just want to progress, it's very quick, with only 2 mandatory fights before the rival. Head to the lift and go straight to the 5th floor, then go all the way to the bottom and step on the warp tile. After you teleport, step on it again and go back to the previous floor, then head down to kill the Rocket's Arbok. To the right is the card key. Repeat the process in reverse to get back to the lift and head to floor 3. Go down and beat the grunt and then open the door on the left. Take the first warp tile you see and you'll be in the room with your rival. It only takes a few minutes compared to an hour or 2 of clearing every room. Let's try our alter ego. He opens with Pidgeot, so we lead with Squidgy for Ice Beam. He chooses Whirlwind and Sand Attack, so we take him down with 2 Ice Beams. Next he sends out Execute and we switch to Better Jack. He lands a Leech Seed, but we take him down in 2 Flies. For Gyarados, we switch to Ball and go for Thunderbolt. He decides Leer is his best option, so we take him down with the second Bolt. Alakazam comes out next, and I'm scared. I go for Chonk to try and hit big physical damage, but he Psybeams and takes us down in a single hit. I go for Better Jack and try Fly, and he recovers at full health. We land a Fly, but heals the damage straight off. Eventually he decides to hit us, and Better Jack dies to a single Confusion. I switch into Stella, our last Pokemon who can deal decent physical damage, and try Body Slam. He disables our Ember and then hits a strong Confusion, but he goes down. Finally it's Charizard, but he locks himself into Rage, so he goes down in 2 Surfs. There's one more Grunt to beat and then it's on to Giovanni. This is the only trainer in the entire game who's beat us so far, so I'm a little worried. Our team has been upgraded a lot since the game corner though, and we take him down relatively easily. Ball thunderbolts his Nidorino down, Squidgy deals with the ground types, and Chonk takes almost no damage from Kangaskhan. After Big G leaves, it looks like the director wants to say something to us, but I order Chonk to dig a hole through all 11 floors of the building and take us back to the Pokemon Center. Hopefully that doesn't affect the structural integrity. I'm shocked we haven't lost yet. We're fighting things 5 to 15 levels higher than us and using Pokemon with much lower stats than the opponents, but somehow, probably because the AI is terrible, it's working. Let's keep the momentum going and head straight to Sabrina. Again, this is a warp tile building, so it can take a while if you don't know the routes. If you do though, you can skip every trainer here and just fight the leader. Enter the gym and take the first tile, then bottom left, top right, and bottom left. There she is. We lead with Stella here, as most Psychic types have a high special stat, which means special moves won't do as much damage. We're going to try and lean on our physical attackers to get through this. This was a hell of a fight. She starts with Kadabra, who we body slam down. Stella takes a big chunk from a Psybeam in the process. Next out is Mr. Mime, who takes a body slam and retaliates with double slap. We hit him again, but he goes for a barrier to boost his defense. One more body slam leaves him with a sliver of health, but Stella falls to the endless slaps. We send in Better Jack to finish it off. The Mime tries another barrier, so we take off, and on the next turn we finish him with Fly. Third up is Venomoth, who's part poison, so we go for Snuffles. We take a hit, but Psychic almost kills it. A Confusion finishes the job. Finally, Alakazam. This thing is level 43, so I'm terrified. I go for Chonk to try and hit it hard, but Alakazam puts up Reflect, immediately ruining our physical damage. In this game, Reflect is permanent, so this is going to be tough now. He goes for another, but they don't stack, so it fails, and we miss a rock slide. Finally, he decides to attack with a Psybeam, one-shotting Chunk. Squidgy tags in and he goes for Psywave. This move does random damage, so even though he's weak to Psychic, Squidgy only takes 5 damage. We try Ice Beam to see if we can get a lucky freeze. Alakazam wastes another turn with a Reflect, so we get a bit more damage in before he crits a Psybeam to finish off Squidgy. Things are looking grim, so I go for Ball to try and paralyze it. We're probably slower, so I expect to get one shot, but he goes for a Recover and we land the Thunder Wave. I don't expect Ball to do much damage, so I decide to try Screeching it so that Better Jack can hit harder later on in the fight. He spams Reflect for some reason, so we get tons of turns to Screech, and we manage to get him to -4 before he finally hits a critical Psybeam to finish us. I consider going for Better Jack, but decide to go for some Seismic Tosses to soften it up before Better Jack comes in for the kill. Because we resist Alakazam's 2 attacking moves though, he just spams Recover. The AI in Gen 1 can't run out of PP, so there's no way to stall it out of Recover, but he just won't hit Snuffles, so I keep going for Seismic Toss and hope for full paralysis. It only happens 2 out of about 30 turns though, incredibly unlucky. After a little while I remember Psychic can drop the opponent's special stat, so I decide to fish for stat drops to make it more likely Better Jack can take a hit. I manage to get him to -5 before I run out of Psychics, then switch to Better Jack for the killing blow. Fly does good damage but doesn't take it down. Unfortunately, Alakazam goes for Psywave, which does random damage, and he rolls high enough to one-shot our bird. Now we're out of options. He won't attack Snuffles and we can't one-shot him, so we're going to be stuck in this battle until we run out of PP and struggle to death. I try fishing for full paralysis for a few more turns, then decide the only way we're winning is to hit him with Confusion, him to get confused, and then hit himself. When we finally confuse him, he immediately hits himself and dies thanks to the defense drops we gave him earlier. I cannot believe we made it through that. There's only one gym to go, so let's keep on pushing through and take on Giovanni and Viridian. As before, we skip as many trainers as we can and head straight for the boss. Oh yeah, there's a revive in this gym. I don't think there's ever been an item in another gym, but for some reason they put one in here. I wasn't expecting much from this gym. Most ground types are slow, Squidgy is fast, and he's one of our strongest Pokemon. His Rhyhorn went down in one hit, but then we ran into a problem. Dugtrio outspeeds us. Nothing on the team can survive a dig from this thing, so I thought I was done for. Until I lucked into a solution. Chonk is slower and he also knows dig, so we dig second and he can't hit us. I clear through Dugtrio, the royal family can't do much to Chonk, and then Rhydon comes out. My heart sinks when he goes for Fissure, but he misses. The second one landed though, leaving us with just Ball, who can't actually hit Rhydon. I spam moves for a while waiting for him to finish me off, but he keeps missing, so after a while I soft reset. No problem, we have a way to deal with Dugtrio, so the second try should be easy. I'll have to re-clear the trainers in the gym, but it's only a few minutes before we're back, and this time we'll destroy him. Well, things don't go entirely to plan. Rhyhorn is a one-shot with Surf again, and then out comes Dugtrio. We switch to Chonk and go for Dig, but he reads us and uses a guard spec. Then he digs, and we miss our dig. I switch to Better Jack to keep Chonk alive because he's immune to dig. God, I've said dig too much, it doesn't sound like a real word anymore. Anyway, he slashes Better Jack down and I misclick and accidentally send out Snuffles. Dugtrio growls though, so we kill him with a Psychic. Nidoqueen comes out and we one-shot it with Squidgy's Surf, but then we meet a new problem. Nidoking also outspeeds us. He goes for a Scratch, so we land a big Surf, but he follows up with Thrash and finishes off Squidgy. I send out Snuffles, who tanks a big hit and then finishes off the king with a Psychic. Finally Rhydon. He tries OHKOing us twice, but he misses both, so 3 Psychics take him down. Another crazy fight. Now, I'm amazed we haven't had to grind yet, but look at our team. There's no way we can clear the game without leveling up at least a bit, right? Well, the team won't give up, so neither will I. Let's see if we can take down the rival west of the sea. Once again he opens with Pidgeot, but we can take advantage of the Gen 1 AI in this fight. The trainers in Gen 1 will always use a super effective move if they have the option. Pidgeot now knows Agility, which is Psychic type, and Squidgy is weak to Psychic. That means he'll only ever pick Agility even though it does no damage. We'll use the same trick later on Lance's Pokemon too, so this is another reason we went for a Tentacle. 2 Ice Beams take down his bird and out comes Rhyhorn. One Surf finishes him off and then it's Execute. I go for Better Jack and land a couple of flies, but we get taken down by a big Solar Beam. Execute is low, so I send in Stellar and try an Ember because Fire Blast can miss. It burns him, but it doesn't quite take him down. Luckily, he absorbs Sunlight, so we finish him on the next round. Fourth out is Gyarados, and I take a chance on Ball. Any decent move will one-shot us, but he goes for Dragon Rage, which always does 40 damage, so we survive and land a big T-Bolt. Next turn he decides to Leer, so we take him down. Fifth is Alakazam, and this one is even higher level than Sabrina's. I'm scared. I go for Stella to try and hit it with some strong normal type moves, but he uses Reflect right away, so our damage is bad. Luckily, we landed a Paralysis, so I go for a Hail Mary play and try Horn Drill. Somehow it lands, OHKOing him. Last is Charizard, so we send in Squidgy to serve. He's faster than us this time though, and critically hits us with Slash to take us down. Chunk is up next and takes another critical slash, dropping him below half, but landing a Rock Slide to do the same to Charizard. Next turn he leers, and we land another Rock Throw, finishing him off. I don't know how we're doing this. Somehow, some way, our team just keeps finding their way through fights that we have no business winning. We should probably have lost every single fight in this episode, but we're heading to Victory Road for the last stretch of travel. There are a few trainers in Victory Road, but they're all optional, so I skip them. I do take down a few wild Pokemon with Squidgy for some easy level ups. After about 10 minutes, we're at the Pokemon League. I spend all my money on healing items, raid the PC for all the elixirs and ethers I found on the journey, and use up the few vitamins I have on the team. Here's how they look. There's no way we can do this, surely. There's a few more moves we could learn, obviously we can level up more, but I'm going to give it a go with what we've got and see if these heroes can become legends. In we go. First we face Lorelei, and we don't stand a chance. We do no damage, take tons, and can't outspeed her. We can't even take down Dewgong, her first Pokemon. Well, it was good while it lasted, but I think we're finally going to have to level up. Luckily, we've beaten hardly any trainers on the entire map, so there's plenty of places to grind. I think I'll try and get the whole team to level 45, see what moves they can learn by TM, and then make another attempt. I decide to clear the whole map. We've left plenty of trainers, so there's a good spot to train each member of the team. It takes a couple of hours, and the lower level trainers don't give a ton of EXP, but it's worth it for stat experience. This is the Gen 1 equivalent of EVs, but to put it simply, the more Pokemon we fight, the higher our stats will be. By the time we're done, the whole team is around level 40. Not quite as high as I wanted, and we're still lower level than some of the wild Pokemon in Victory Road, but it's at least reasonable to make another attempt now. We've learned a few new moves while leveling, and we still have some options with TMs, but for now, let's just see how we do. I spend all my money in case we lose, and head back to Lorelei. This time, we open with Bol, who is now our strongest team member. We hit a big Thunderbolt and Dewgong rests, so we take it down before it wakes up. Cloyster goes down to a critical Thunderbolt, and Slowbro is left on a sliver by another crit. He goes for a withdrawal, and we finish him off. Next out is Jinx, so we go for Stella's Fire Blast. The first one gets her low, but we take big damage from Ice Punch. She thrashes, leaving us on 3 health. But we miss the next Fire Blast and go down. I switch back to Bol and finish her with another Thunderbolt. Last is Lapras, and this thing is a beast. Thunderbolt doesn't do nearly as much as it did to her other Pokemon. It confuses us, so rather than risking hitting myself again, I switch to Snuffles, who goes down to a Hydro Pump Body Slam combo. Back to Bol for another big hit, but Blizzard one-shots us. It's low, so I go for Jack and we outspeed it with a Tri-Attack, but it's not doing enough damage and we die to Blizzard. Next is Squidgy, who hits himself in Confusion 3 times, but Lorelei goes for Super Potions or Confuse Rays, so we don't die yet. Eventually we snap out and start landing Mega Drains for almost no damage, but she still isn't hitting us. Just as it looked like we might take her down, she body slams and we're down. Last is Chunk, and I don't have high hopes. She goes for a Super Potion though, so we land a Dig and get her really low before dying to Blizzard. This is definitely possible. We head straight back in with a slightly adjusted strategy. Bol still takes down Dewgong, Cloyster and Slowbro, but no crits this time, so he's taken some extra damage. For Jinx, we rotate through our team, getting a bit of chip damage in, then send out Stella for the finishing blow with a critical Fire Blast. Back to Lapras. I leave Stella in to chunk it with Fire Blast before she goes down, then Bol comes out and uses Thunder Wave to guarantee the speed advantage for the rest of the fight. She goes for Confuse Ray, so we get the chance to hit her with a Thunderbolt, but we hit ourselves. She's paralysed though, so we land the bolt for big damage and then die to Body Slam. Snuffles comes in for a couple of Psychics and then a Confusion to finish the job. Next up is Bruno with Rock and Fighting types. He starts with Onyx, so we lead with Squidgy. He misses a Rock Throw, so we take him down with 1 Surf. Hitmonlee comes in, so we swap to Bear Jack for Fly. He starts using X Defense though, so we aren't doing that much damage anymore. Luckily, we crit a Drill Peck to finish him off. Taking revenge for his fallen cousin, Hitmonlee comes out and lands a Mega Kick to take down our bird. We send in Snuffles, who one-shots it with Psychic after he uses another X Defend. Another Onyx comes out, so we send Squidgy back in to surf it down. Finally, he sends out Machamp, so we go back to Snuffles. My heart stops when he goes for Fissure, but it misses, and we do big damage with Psychic. On the next turn he leers, so we take him down. Third is Agatha. but she's more of a poison trainer than a ghost trainer, so Snuffles should be able to handle her. She also has a chance to switch Pokemon each turn, so if she does, we'll be getting a ton of free damage. First out is Gengar, and he's really not taking much damage. He lands a big Nightshade on Snuffles as well as confusing us, but we persevere and take him down, partly thanks to a special drop. She follows up with Golbat, so we go into Ball, misses a Supersonic, and we kill it with 2 Thunderbolts. For our Haunter, we go into Chonk and instantly get confused. The Chonk fights through though and manages to take it down with a single dig. He tries to learn Fury Attack. I'm good, thanks. We stay in for Arbok and get paralyzed and Screech. It takes a few turns, but a combination of Rock Slide and Dig takes it down. Finally, the second Gengar. Another Dig does massive damage and we take some hits from Nightshade, then get confused, but eventually we land the second Dig to finish it off. Finally, Lance. His dragons won't be a problem because they all know Agility and Barrier, so we can abuse the AI to make them not hit us. Aerodactyl is the real threat in this fight. We open with Ball to take on his Gyarados. Thunderbolt deals massive damage, but he goes straight for a Hyper Beam and takes us down. I send in Snuffles to try and finish him off during the recovery turn, but he cheats and uses a Hyper Potion. Psychic deals a chunk, but Snuffles goes down to another Hyper Beam. I send in Rhyhorn, and this is where I remember that if he knocks out one of our Pokemon with Hyper Beam, he doesn't have to take a turn to rest. That's only in Gen 1, I don't know why it works like that, but it was a bad time to remember it. He misses his first Hydro Pump, and we do land some big damage with Rock Slide, but the second one takes us down. Better Jack comes in to finish the job, taking a Dragon Rage but landing Fly for the final blow. Next out is 2 Dragonairs, so we send in Squidgy to Ice Beam them down while they sit there boosting their speed. On to Aerodactyl. He's way too fast, and he hits way too hard. I think if we can keep Ball alive and paralyze it, we can probably win the fight, so we need a little bit of luck against Gyarados. Let's try again. This time Lance goes for a Hyper Potion on turn 1, then Dragon Rage on turn 2, so Ball survives and takes him down with 3 Thunderbolts. The Dragonairs go exactly the same as before, and we're back to Aerodactyl. We send out Ball, but we're still slower. Luckily he goes for a Supersonic and misses, so we get our chance to paralyze. Next turn we crit a Thunderbolt to take it down in one shot. Finally his Dragonite comes out, so we send in Squidgy to Ice Beam it down while it does nothing. On to the final fight. He opens with Pidgeot Stool, but it doesn't know Agility anymore, so we can't abuse the AI to beat it. I lead with Ball as it's the highest level and can probably take it down in 2 Thunderbolts. This fight is rough. We can deal with Pidgeot, but Alakazam comes second. He's fast, hits like a truck, and puts up a Reflect to reduce our damage. We take him down eventually, but by the time we do, our team is in shambles, so Exeggutor cleans up. We're definitely going to need to paralyze him if we're going to stand a chance. Attempt 2 is wild. I put Chonk up front as he resists all of Pidgeot's moves, so even though we're slower, it shouldn't be a huge problem. 3 Rock Slides take it down. Alakazam comes out and goes for a cover, so we get our paralysis. I go for a Thunderbolt and do a small chunk while he hits a massive Psybeam. After our second Thunderbolt he recovers, so I really don't know what to do. Then it hits me. Flash! I knew this move would come in useful at some point. I spam Flash like a faulty light bulb, and by the time Ball goes down he's at -4. I send in Stellar next. If we can land a Horn Drill and end it quickly, that's less time for Alakazam to kill us, so our chance of winning is better. The third Horn Drill lands, taking him out. His Rhydon comes in next, but it's an easy one-shot with Squidgy's Surf, easily the least threatening member of his team. For Exeggutor, we switch back to Stellar and go for a Fire Blast. She misses though and gets put to sleep, then taken down. I send in Better Jack for some super effective damage. We're faster, so we land a hit, but it doesn't do much. Better Jack whittles him down, but misses the third fly that probably would have killed him, so Eggman racks up another kill. Things are dire now, so I send in Squidgy and go for an Ice Beam. By some miracle, we froze him, so the second Ice Beam takes him down. Gyarados is next and Ball is dead, so I go for Snuffles and get one shot by Hydro Pump. I fish for status conditions with Squidgy, but don't get lucky and go down in a few turns. All we have left is Chonk. If Hydro Pump lands, we die, but by some miracle, it misses. We miss Rock Slide too though, and on the next turn, he finishes us off with a Hydro Pump. That was a heartbreaker. If Rock Slide had landed, we might have won. Attempt 3 doesn't go much better, and on attempt 4 I forgot to put Chonk up front, so we're starting with Ball again. This time Pidgeot goes for Sky Attack, so we Thunderbolt twice for a clean kill. Alakazam comes out and we go for Paralysis again. My stomach drops when he goes for Psybeam, but we survive and land the Thunder Wave. I can't afford for Ball to go down, so I sacrifice Squidgy to his next Psybeam. Stellar comes out and goes for the Horn Drill. We miss, but he's fully paralysed, and the second one lands for the Oko. Rhydon's third and Squidgy is down, so I go into Chonk for Dig. We take a little damage, dodge some of his Horn Drills, and take him down in 3 hits. Exeggutor is back, so I decide to send Stella in and try and end him fast. We miss our first Horn Drill and take huge damage, but the second one lands to take him out. Gyarados is up, but Ball is alive, and crucially has 41 HP, so he'll survive a Dragon Rage. Thunderbolt gets him low, he goes for a Leer, and we finish him off. Charizard's up. His final Pokemon. The final challenge of the game. There's no point playing risky now, so I go for another Thunder Wave to give us the speed advantage. He misses his Fire Spin so it lands, and we follow up with a big Thunderbolt. His second Fire Spin hits, trapping Ball. We go down to 7 HP, but then he's fully paralyzed, so we bolt again to bring him low. Our rival uses a full restore to keep the battle going. This time though, we're faster than him, so we must have been speed tied. We land another Thunder Wave, giving us the edge. He finishes Ball with a Fire Blast. I send in Chonk and Rock Slide him for 3/4 of his health, but he lands a Fire Spin, trapping us. It lasts 3 turns, but when we're released, Chonk lands another Rock Slide, finishing the run. I cannot believe we pulled that off. Not a single Pokemon on our team was above level 50 at the end of the run, and his Charizard was level 65. I was sure I'd have to grind to at least level 50 just to beat the Elite Four, let alone the champion. Those last few fights were tense. I had a ton of fun making this run, so I think I'll try Gen 2 sometime soon. There's a lot of changes between each game that could make beating each one quite interesting. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do and keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, there's plenty of other content on the channel, so I'd love it if you watch some more of it. I hope you enjoyed this run, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.